Logical Zay. It's always more than one way to think about anything. King and Queens, I hope everybody's doing good, doing great, taking care of your health, staying to yourself. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the hype button. Pop your issue in the comment section. I will be checking. Keep it respectful. No disrespect. Remember, a slow grind is better than no grind. As y'all can see by the title, by the thumbnail, what we got going on. Let's get into this video. Before we get to this video, make sure y'all go subscribe to XO Speaks. Before you subscribe to his channel, be sure to subscribe to mine. All right? What happened to the black community? And I ain't gonna lie, I've been in my bag with the race, with the culture, man. You know me. I like these videos though. Interesting topic.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately. How did we go from marching, organizing, really trying to build something as a community to now where some of us are moving? I've been thinking about this a lot lately. How did we go from marching, organizing, really trying to build something as a community to now where some of us are moving completely
going the opposite
different?
direction.
And I'm not talking about everybody.
Actually, the motive.
So don't take it there. But you can't act like it's the same. The energy now is different. What people respect is different. What people chase nowadays is different. So don't take it there. But you can't act like it's the same. The energy now is different. What people respect is different. What people chase nowadays is different.
It's not cool to be bad.
It is cool. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm just trying to be like my idol.
Who your idol?
King Von.
Because that's the only way he would have probably been able to be exposed to King Von. Even if he in Chicago, it's like if he doesn't have a device, or maybe even if his friends don't have the devices in their hands to know who that person is, they can't be exposed to that. Now imagine if social media just wasn't as popular as it was. People didn't have these horror stories about these individuals. These kids wouldn't know who these people are. That was the great part about us coming up. We really wasn't inclined like that. We didn't have details on these people. And also, too, we didn't have phones in our hands. We was outside riding a bike, you know what I'm saying, getting scrapes and scratches all on our knees and arms and elbows coming in, bloody, chin, you know, scratched and all type of stuff. But I definitely think the phone and the devices, TikTok and YouTube and all this stuff has brainwashed and mind control, which is, you know, ultimately the goal. But that sucks, though, man. And also, too, parenting. Parenting is a huge part. And, I mean, I guess that speaks to him having a phone. So, but even if your kid do have a phone at a young age, you got to monitor what they looking at.
So what actually happened? Because this didn't just come out of nowhere. Let's be real first. It was never. So what actually happened? Because this didn't just come out of nowhere. Let's be real first. It was never perfect. There was always crime, always people on the wrong path. That's not new. But there was more structure around it. More people stepping in when somebody was moving wrong. Whether that be family, church, or people in the neighborhood, there was a stronger presence of connection. Even if you ignored it, you still heard it. But now in a lot of places, that's not really there like it used to be. You can see the change.
Take fuck to little bro. Don't shoot him in his shit. Bitch ass, bro.
How many cars do you think you guys have?
You know what I'm saying? They around a lot of profanity. They hearing people curse, so they're gonna mock and mimic what they, you know, they've become a product of their environment.
Taken in your lifetime collectively?
500 car thefts. Him, he got like at least 150 car thefts.
200 car thefts, 300 car thefts.
What? And are you scared of potentially ever going to jail? You ever think about that?
No, I ain't gonna lie. I'm only scared of the black truck shit.
You got
Fuck
somebody
the police. I ain't
older.
gonna lie. I'm only scared of the black trucks. Other than that,
You know what I mean,
fuck
so
the
to speak.
police. Like,
He's actually amen in what they're doing. It's
thing.
like he contesting. He's cool with it. He's a supporter of it versus giving the young homies game. And of course, yeah, you can give them game. You know, I'm going to go back and forth with my own, you know what I mean, opinion. He can give game, but it's up to them to actually take it. He may be telling them to risk, like, hey, look, you steal a car, somebody finds you, they may put a bullet in you, you know what I mean? Or the police might catch you. You might have to spend so, you know, many amount of years in prison. I mean, so is this something you want to do? And a lot of them be like, yeah. So, yeah, you know, you can fault him and say, oh, well, the big homies and the big brothers and the older people in the community ain't helping out. But you don't know what the conversations that go on behind these cameras. We don't know what take place in these streets with these older dudes trying to lace these younger dudes with game. It's up to the younger dudes to listen. But I always say experience and going through stuff is the best teacher. Words, I mean, they're great. They're always good to have. It's always good to lend advice because I think that's where things start. And then also, too, being able to lead by example, by showing actions. But most of the time, these young dudes don't learn until they behind bars and they realizing, God dang, what did I do in my life? I didn't do nothing. Or, you know what I'm saying, somebody put a hot one in them and they like, whew, nah, streets ain't for me no more.
And this is what I mean by the structure is not the same. That type of behavior shouldn't be praised at all. So more people are growing.
For real, watch out for him, but I fuck with him though.
And this is what I mean by the structure is not the same. That type of behavior shouldn't be praised at all. So more people are growing up figuring things out on their own. And when that happens, most people go off what they see, not what they were taught. Back then, the focus was clear. Civil rights, voting, basic respect. Everybody knew what the fight was. People actually had something real to stand behind. But after those big wins, there wasn't a clear direction everybody could lock into the same way. Yeah, laws changed, but life didn't flip overnight. So now, instead of one strong direction, people started moving in all kinds of directions. Some good and some not so good.
This young man carved this on the door in regards to his mother. Carve this word every day she opens up the door. She has to see that word that this young man carved on her damn door. I'm doing this because this young man is about to apologize to his mother for carving that word, which is spelled incorrectly, but we all know what he's saying.
Young men gotta stop being gangsters and start being graduates.
And when there's no clear path that people believe in, that's when shit hits the fan. At some point, it wasn't about the group anymore. It was just about everybody trying to get by on their own. And that makes sense to a degree. If opportunities open up, people are gonna take them. But at the same time, that strong community mindset started getting weaker in certain areas. People stopped holding each other accountable, and that whole "we need to fix this together" mindset started fading.
If you were late or couldn't pay your rent, you got a rent party thrown for you. And people would donate to help you pay your bills.
I'd go to their house and eat one day. They come to my house and eat another day.
Intermingling with other, like, all right, when segregation was here, and
so now when somebody falls off, they kind of just stay there. And over time,
black people had their own community, white people had their own community. Do y'all believe in, and put this in the comment section, do y'all believe that is what made us stronger together? Because we knew we had to build an alliance with each other to go against the opposition, so to speak, which was white people, because they were so racist. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, I'm going to say that segregation made us stronger. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I really do. The fact that now we have, and it sucks to say, and it's kind of backwards, and it's wild that we have more rights now, and we're less together now than when we didn't have as much rights. We were more together. That's crazy to think about, but I really do. I think it helped us in a lot. It helped us tremendously. I think it helped us, but it also hurt us, and it hindered us too. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that, though. Give me your honest opinion in the comment section.
that gap just gets bigger.
DOJ says Gucci Mane and two other on point. They say 9 people.
That gap just gets bigger.
DOJ says Gucci Mane and 2 others were allegedly kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint.
Severe misguidance. I could never in life imagine me kidnapping and robbing somebody with my dad. A lot of people act like once laws changed, everything else followed right behind it. That's not what happened. A lot of the same neighborhoods stayed the same. Same lack of resources, same struggles, just a different time period. So now you got newer generations growing up in the same conditions, but without that same structure that used to balance it all out.
Hawaiian, y'all know what time it is. Y'all already know. 41 years old, all that shit. Folks, y'all know what time it is. It's busting out here. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with getting money, but these are supposed to be our role models. I'm sure you can understand that it would be pretty difficult to look up to that.
If the kids did something on, let's say, Tiffany Street, Miss Jones on Tiffany Street was calling Miss Mabel on Kelly Street, and they would watch your child. It was very common for the other mothers to spank your kids too. You know, they would beat your kid's ass if they saw their kid doing something wrong. And then you would go home and tell, and you would get another.
That alone is enough to cause problems. When you keep saying the same environment, people adapt to it. So instead of saying structure, you start saying fast.
Trying to correct a young man or a young woman, these young women and young men now, they're out of pocket with adults. Oh, you can't talk to me like that. You ain't my mama. But then if you look how they are at home, they even disrespect their mom. which is why they disrespectful to random strangers who just trying to look out for them. And I'm just saying, calling them out, like maybe trying to help them. Try to maybe help them with being kind, or just try to let them know, give them a little advice, or you can't tell me now who you did. So just to think how the community was together in every aspect is super dope, man. And these kids now will frown upon the idea of that, but it's wild to think about that. Like, you would just really just genuinely be trying to help, and these kids will lash out and go crazy on you. And then you see how they interact with their parents, and you be like, okay, it makes sense why you don't have respect for people. It has nothing to do with me being a stranger and you not knowing me. You just don't have respect for humanity. You don't have respect for yourself. How can you disrespect your parents and think that you're supposed to be able to get somewhere in life? You don't have no self-respect for yourself. Because if you can violate somebody that had you, the reason that you're here on this earth, then yeah, you're a lost cause. And I don't know, but it's wild today, man. I ain't gonna lie. I try my best to mind my business, but if anybody younger, of course, like my son and my brother, they got some really, really good friend groups, very respectful young men. And I always try to give advice, and I always try to be open-minded, and, I allow them to be them. And at the same time, I still want to be a source of like an older person that can give them some type of advice with whatever they're dealing with. So yeah, man, it's just a sticky situation with that.
Off emotion. Not because it's better. Money, street mindset, and reacting off emotion. Not because it's better, but because it seems like it works right now. And once that becomes normal, it just keeps spreading. There's also a disconnect between older and younger generations. I've talked about this in a previous video. Older people feel like the youth don't listen, and a lot of them also feel like we're out of control.
This for the YNs, for real. I'm tired of y'all, like for real. It's 80, 90 degrees, y'all coming in the stores with the ski mask on and the hoodie. I don't know what type of time you on.
And younger people feel like older people don't understand.
It's all love across the board besides when I consistently engage with Gen X black men. It's a very rare occasion when I interact with a Gen X black man and I get something out of it.
And honestly, both sides got a point. The world is different now. The environment is different. But instead of real conversations, it just turns into frustration, less teaching, and more judging.
I'm asking, where the fuck do I go and apply for ICE? I ain't going after immigrants. No, y'all ain't got to worry about me. I'm going after you YN. You coward motherfuckers. Y'all quick to fuck with your own people. Y'all quick to go in homes in your own neighborhood and rob them blind. Y'all quick to pull the trigger on your own people.
And when knowledge isn't passed down properly, people end up learning through mistakes instead of guidance.
80 years, that's how long Texas rapper Tay-K will spend behind bars after a jury found him guilty of murder on Monday.
Tay-K, or Tamor McIntyre, was convicted for the death of Mark Saldivar, who was killed in a San Antonio Chick-fil-A parking lot in 2017. Just before 10 o'clock last night in the 187th courtroom, McIntyre stood before the judge.
As we close this
Judge
video,
Stephanie Boyd read the sentence.
When you step back and look at everything together, it starts to make more.
And me getting chills tend to just come from me visualizing things that just hit home, and it just hit heavy right here in my heart, because I think about how many times I've been into it with somebody, and how many black individuals I've gotten altercations with, and just hearing about how many of us are targeting ourselves. How many of us truly hate the reflection in the mirror so much that we go outside and harm people that look just like us. And I'm telling y'all, for many years, man, I was just emotionally all over the place. Coming from being raised by my grandma and my mom, and I just had terrible emotional management. Took me to my later years to realize the importance of controlling your emotions and think rationally and move strategically, and knowing what's right and what's wrong, and knowing that a king, a real, warrior, a real man, a real leader is going to think before he acts. It took me a while, but that's the best, most satisfying feeling, to know that nobody can move you. You have full control over what's going on, and nobody else can bother that. I worked dang hard to be able to laugh somebody's ignorance off and not meet them with ignorance. And for the longest, I had to realize my enemy is not somebody that looked like me. My enemy is myself. The enemy is me. It's my thoughts. It's the way I'm perceiving things. It's the way I'm receiving things. It's the energy I'm releasing, which is why I'm getting what I'm giving. So the minute that y'all realize that, that will be the day that you take your power back. All right. And with that being said, love, peace, and prosperity. Hello or goodbye. Talk to me. Do not yell at me. We elevate until we hit our head. We ain't bleeding yet. Spread love, not hate. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Be great. Go on.